After months of careful planning, starting seeds in January and February, taking them outdoors to harden off in March and April, gardening through the snow as the last of the April snowstorms come into the province, it's finally early July, and finally the fruits of our labor are blooming with beautiful stalk snapdragons, anemones, godatia, baby's breath, saponaria, and so much more that's yet to come. The ranunculus have passed, the sweet peas are finally in bloom, and this area feels so magical. Hey friends, it's early July in Zone 3 near Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, and I am loaded with flowers. So I want to welcome you to my frost-proof flower garden, and I want to talk a little bit about how I was able to achieve these results that are often really elusive for those of us in cold climates with short growing seasons. Here on the prairies, we don't really have weather that's generally conducive to growing cool flowers because our springs tend to be really short-lived. It's cold for a long time, then it suddenly boom, super hot, which cool flowers don't like. This year we did have the benefit of a longer, colder, wetter spring, so these guys really thrived. But even if we don't have that weather, there are some strategies that you can use to still get pretty decent results. I wish that there was like smell-o-vision for these sweet peas. They are so gorgeous. Now, just for context, these beds that they're in, they're raised beds. They're about 3 feet high. I'm 5'5", so you know the sweet peas are definitely taller than me. Oh hi, they're taller than the frame. So we've got some pretty good length on these. Now, the secret to these sweet peas is not direct sowing on May 21st, or like the approximate time when everybody kind of direct sows their garden. The secret is actually starting them in March, and you put them out in April, and it's cold. They might get a -5, they might freeze. There will be a point where you think, my sweet peas are dying, Kristen, I hate you, this is dumb, like this is not working. But if you just persevere, you get this. And I used to be someone who always did my sweet peas at the end of May, and mine never bloomed till August. They didn't look really good, and I was like, what is going on? But since I switched to doing this method and got over my fear of gardening in the snow, I now have glorious sweet peas. These particular ones are called High Scent. They also sometimes go by the name April in Paris, and I got mine from West Coast Seeds, but there's lots of different places you can get them. But I will drop a link in the comment because they smell heavenly and are so worth growing. Over here we have Baby's Breath. This is the Covent Garden variety, and that's something that I direct seeded along over here with this saponaria, and that got direct seeded sometime in mid-April. And then of course stock that I started a lot earlier and then also planted out in mid-April. We have this gorgeous pink variety. I think that's the iron pink, and then that's a single. My double's on the other side. There's a double of that lovely apricot. And then we have a few other direct seeded things coming in. I believe this is Nigella. Then we also have some forget-me-nots that are super close. And over here is an anemone that I didn't have room for in the anemone bed. And isn't she lovely? Let's get a better look at that beautiful stalk. Now, stalk is of course a one and done flower. We all know this, but this is why I plant my Baby's Breath in amongst there, because if you do this, then you're not wasting so much space, and like you can really cram stuff in. Over here is my current pride and joy, these gorgeous snapdragons. I think these are the Costa Silver, or they might be a bridal pink. I'm not entirely sure. Don't mind me moving around, there's a lot of mosquitoes. But because I put them out so early, they had exposure to the cold. They could get out as soon as possible because they're in the raised beds, and these heat up a lot faster than my in-ground garden. We have really thick stems, beautiful stem length. I'm just gonna pop a picture here of my best ones that I actually already cut them. These are kind of like the second best ones, but I mean, they're still really good. And just for comparison, I'm going to go take you over to the main garden and show you how ones that were planted just a few weeks later are not like quite as good as these ones that I got out as early as possible. So over here is the main garden. Let's just walk through. Oh, that yarrow, it's doing so well. Okay, here are my snaps. These are the ones that I got planted out the earliest. And like you can see, they're still pretty long and strong, but like not to the extent of those other ones quite yet. These ones are more on the same blooming trajectory, so maybe they're like a more fair comparison. Like again, it's pretty decent, but it's not like those absolutely mammoth ones. And then over here we have some that are a little thinner and are struggling just a little bit more. So the thing about a frost-proof garden is because you are kind of gardening in the snow in April, like everyone thinks you're crazy. And you, if you're doing it for the first time, you probably feel crazy. And quite honestly, this was about my third, fourth time of like really gardening in the snow. And I still feel crazy. It feels weird, but oh man, now that I can see the results of it, like I just feel so justified. I'm sorry if it's bragging, but like I am not kidding when I say this is really hard to do where I live. Over here, this is where my best snapdragons were, and I already cut them, but look at this larkspur. So these are maybe not the most like sellable colors, but they're from So Right Seeds out of the States. All of the seeds I got from them were just absolutely fabulous. I also really love this bed. Like, again, just give me a stock flower and I am happy and content. So another thing I did over here to like maximize this bed space is you'll notice that in between this stalk, we have some Swiss chard, and I also have some carrots. And what you don't see here and is long gone is I also had some spinach and arugula and radishes that I had in between these rows just to maximize it out. And then when I cut this, I am probably going to plant my last succession of fall sunflowers in here. And I don't know, maybe some more baby's breath, some saponaria, something like that. Just a few little quick crops that can handle the frost and that I can have well into October. I'll just show you this up close. You can see like that, those are the two rows. And then in between here, we have this, which is going to get much more space because I'll be cutting these very soon. I'll probably actually cut this tonight after I'm done recording. And then over here, we have the carrots. I've actually cut most of these, so I should probably cut them lower or just rip them out altogether. And those carrots can have their room. And yeah, another shot of the larkspur. And so what's going to happen over here is I purposely put the larkspur closest to the arch, and then you can see right in here I have this little pumpkin. He's not looking too hot right now because he's getting a lot of shade, but you know, all this is going to get cut in the next couple of days, and then I might just pop a cozy coat on him just to get him going, and then hopefully that'll fill up this side of the arch over here. And then, you know, the sweet peas are probably not going to get much taller than that, but they should keep blooming throughout the season as long as I cut them. And then over in these two beds, they're pretty much done. This was the ranunculus bed. It was utterly glorious. Just let me put up a few little pictures of it in its prime. And so I'm going to be ripping this out in the next day or two, saving these corms, and then same thing, putting some different crops in. Maybe I'll put in some more lettuce. We have, I think, now I can't remember if this is carrots or if this is a flower. I think it's carrots though. And then over in the anemone bed, like it's actually still growing surprisingly strong, but you know, we're getting super hot temperatures this weekend or this week, so I think these will be mostly done. Over in this section we have godatia, and again, just getting my godatia out into the ground and into these raised beds earlier. I have never ever had like such tall, beautiful, large, like really thick stems on these. I've always had like the sad spindly little stems. This over here is new to me. I think this is the corn cockle. I don't know, it looks cool. It just still hasn't bloomed, so I don't have much to say about it. And we have one sweet little forget-me-not that's starting to bloom. And I really need these for this weekend's wedding, so I hope they bloom for me. Just a few poppies. I'm more looking for the seed heads than anything. More poppies. Oh, and then the blue anemones. These were a little bit shorter, a little harder to sell, but you know what? I still liked them. They were still fun. So if you were looking at all of this and thinking to yourself, like, I want this to be me next year, I'm just going to give you a little plug. I wrote this book. It's called The Frostproof Flower Garden, and this basically gives all the details about the different timings you need to have and the different circumstances. Like, really, the raised beds are key in zone 3. It really helps. But yeah, if you want to grow cool flowers early and have a lot more success for them, this book will help you out. I'll put the link in the description. You can either get it on my website as a digital product and you'll get the updates as like I grow more crops and really refine my processes, or you can purchase a physical copy on Amazon if you just want, you know, physical copy and you don't like digital. Anyway, thank you so much for being with me. I so appreciate your support of this channel, and we'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye-bye.